Trump, and that's it, and that's nothing.
Because the guy doesn't even drink. I know folks that actually know him. He eats giant.
When you can't get anyone on somebody, you take these low blows.
He milkshakes, ice cream, he pigs out, okay? That's what he does. He eats popcorn. He loves America. Listen, let's go further here briefly. We're going to go to break. I'm going to air the Dinesh D'Souza interview that Leanne McAdoo did when we come back in 70 seconds. Then Paul Watson takes over from London, England. But that 5-minute interview with Leanne McAdoo with Dinesh D'Souza is coming up. Tomorrow, we've got Roger Stone in studio. We're working on Dinesh D'Souza. We've got coming up either Thursday, or either Wednesday or Thursday, Ted Nugent. So much more, but a lot of videos coming out at Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com. So much. Please support us. DNA Force is 25% off today only because it's going to sell out. Other products at InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com. Your purchases make this broadcast, everything we do possible. Great job with the crew. Hour number 4, straight ahead. Stay with us.
Leanne McAdoo with Infowars.com. We're here at the RNC and here at the premiere of Hillary's America with Dinesh D'Souza. How are you doing here tonight? Very exciting to be here for the film.
I'm super excited to be here. This movie can play a big role in unifying the Republican Party, but also giving it to Hillary and the Democrats. My Obama movie 4 years ago was just about Obama. This one is about progressivism and the whole sordid, repulsive history of the Democratic Party. We lay it all out there, and so I'm very excited to be sharing this message with delegates who can carry it all across the country.
Right, and you say Hillary's America is going to be utterly terrifying. You would know. You've actually had firsthand experience of someone with major political power using that power to target their political opponents. What would you want to say to the opponents of Hillary Clinton if she becomes president?
Well, I think that I've seen a kind of a thuggishness in American politics that wasn't there before. I'm a product of the Reagan era, and you had people who disagreed, Reagan, Mondale, Dukakis, and it was a sort of a gentleman's fight. But these guys who are in there now are their idea is that if you disagree with them, they kind of want to put you out of business. They want to lock you up. They want to take you off the stage, so to speak. Obama there's a gangster streak in Obama, but his goals are ideological. His gangsterism is the means. Hillary, I think, is a gangster par excellence. That's her MO. That's who she is. And so I'm a little worried that Hillary presidency would essentially bring a sort of third world gangster mentality to the United States.
Absolutely, and talk about no government accountability. What did you think of the reaction to her FBI probe, and then now they're pushing it back? They're not going to delve into the Clinton Foundation for 27 more months.
Well, one thing I learned in confinement was that we as conservatives and as Republicans, it's just foolish for us to cross our fingers and wait for other people to do our work. We have to do our own work. So all the Republicans who kind of naively were saying, oh, wait till the FBI indicts her. No, the FBI is under Obama's thumb. Loretta Lynch works for Obama. Obama's been signaling for 2 months. Hillary's my gal, leave her alone. So I was not optimistic this would happen. And in fact, we went ahead with the Hillary movie in the full confidence that she would be the nominee.
Right, absolutely. And so one last question, obviously breaking news today, some more police officers slain there in Baton Rouge. Did you think years ago making Obama's America that this would be happening? Police officers would be targeted, potential civil war. We're seeing massive racial imbalance here. I mean, what do you think about this?
And the way I look at it is that the liberal plantation is boiling over. And what I mean by that is that the left has over 50 years taken the old plantation model. That was a rural model when you had slave quarters and all, and recreated the plantation in the inner city. Except now it's not just for blacks. It's barrios for Hispanics and reservations for the American Indians and slums. And so these are horrible places to live. The family structure is broken down. There's no hope. It's very different. You get a meager living, basic health care, but you got basic health care on the old slave plantation as well. And so the left has created this. This is the product of the Democratic Party. They have to answer for it. And I think a lot of the urban strife comes out of the hopelessness of that environment created by the left and the Democrats.
Absolutely. Who are you going to vote for? Who should America vote for?
I can't vote because I'm a convicted enemy of the state. So I'm not going to be voting, but I'm going to try to convince millions of people to vote for Trump and to vote a straight Republican ticket. American politics is fought in teams. And so at the end of the day, there's only one group that can stop Hillary and the Democrats. That's Trump and the Republicans. It's like 150 years ago. Who could stop slavery? Not even the abolitionists. It was only the Republican Party. So by winning the 18th 1960 election, the Republican Party set off the train of events that brought slavery to an end. It's the Republican Party is the party to vote for straight down the line.
Thank you so much. Really excited to see the movie.
Thank you.
We are back live. It's the fourth hour of the Alex Jones Show with me, your host, Paul Joseph Watson. And the religion of peace strikes again and again and again. Now we've had another 2 attacks over the last 24 hours alone, not getting too much media attention because, of course, they don't fit the narrative. This is out of RT. German train attacker left suicide note warning about attack. Now, of course, we covered this story yesterday. I was doing a live blog feed when this was unfolding. And it turns out now that, of course, he left the suicide note. He was a 17-year-old Afghan migrant who had come in as a result of Angela Merkel's humanitarian, culturally enriching wave of mass migration. Pages from a notebook found at the home of an Afghan teen who attacked passengers on a German train with an axe. I guess we have to ban assault axes now. May be regarded as a suicide note, police and investigating officials said during a press briefing on Tuesday. And it's surprising that they're actually even giving a press briefing, given the fact that in the past, German police have been ordered to cover up details about migrants committing crimes. We had the incident just after the Paris attacks where it was a Germany versus France soccer match at the stadium before the game. The police testified, the EMTs testified that they had found bombs in a fake dummy ambulance. That got covered up pretty quickly. The head of ZDF, Germany's top broadcaster, came out and admitted that they basically report what they're told to report by the German government. You had the mass molestation of women in not only Cologne, but also Hamburg on New Year's Eve. That was covered up for several days by the police authorities, by the German government, despite the fact that details emerged on social media almost immediately. So again, it's a surprise that we even get to find out the identity of this axe attacker at all, given the cover-up that we've seen in the past. But in this so-called suicide note that they found in the apartment belonging to this terrorist, and of course, you know, Obama will probably come out later and claim that this was just workplace violence. It says, addressing his father, the young man asked him to pray that he could take revenge on the infidels. This was in the suicide note of the axe attacker in Germany. Again, 3 people critically injured, still in hospital, others injured, others traumatized. He left a suicide note saying that he wanted to take revenge on the infidels. Nothing to do with Islam. The train attacker was a devout Sunni Muslim. Again, nothing to do with Islam. He didn't visit a mosque regularly, but had probably prayed privately. Having studied the man's presence on social networks, investigators said he had published a post against, quote, enemies of Islam some 24 hours before the attack. So again, nothing to do with Islam. He's out there saying that he plans to take revenge on the infidels. He's talking about punishing the enemies of Islam. He goes out, gets this train, which is in quite a rural area, and again, hacks these people. You look at the pictures, go and look at the pictures on Twitter of this attack. Again, blood splattered everywhere. And this was not in a major city. This was in quite a rural area, you know, in Germany. This wasn't Berlin. This wasn't Dusseldorf. This wasn't Munich. This wasn't any of the major cities. It was a quiet, remote location. This stuff is becoming so common, so prevalent, that it's now reaching into the remote areas of these countries because, again, and you can read the interviews of these people in this area conducted by these news agencies after this attack, and they said, as soon as this happened, and we'll get to these stories soon, as soon as this happened, they knew that it would be one of the refugees, one of the migrants that had moved into the local area. And sure enough, that's exactly what it proved to be. Now, we have this clip from the Alex Jones Show, which I was a guest on last week and talked about, predicted this very thing. Of course, this was a minor attack in comparison to something like the Nice attack. But I was on the show around 6 days ago and said that attacks were coming in Germany. So let's go to that clip. I'll just blame that as well.
Sure, so what comes next? I mean, where does this all end, Paul?
Well, we're in a war. I mean, the head of the French police last week said 1 or 2 more Islamic terror attacks in France. It's civil war. Now, the French have largely capitulated. What I'm predicting is this is going to happen in Germany. There's going to be a massive attack. There's going to be a massive backlash. There's going to be civil unrest. There's going to be riots on the streets. It's only... So that was me on the Alex Jones Show 6 days ago predicting that Germany would be attacked next. Now, of course, there are guaranteed to be bigger attacks than this Axe attack, which took place on a train last night. Thankfully, as far as we know so far, nobody has died, but again, 3 people at least critically wounded. And why is it easy to predict that there are going to be more attacks and that there's going to be mass civil unrest? There's going to be riots on the streets? Well, because it's not just me saying it. It's the head of the French police forces saying it. If there's one more jihadist attack, if there's one more mass molestation like we saw in Cologne, people are going to completely revolt. Merkel is extremely unpopular already, and they've just about had enough of it. This article was put up on Infowars.com yesterday. Again, got very little attention comparatively. Council member, French citizens are getting ready for war. Gun club memberships quadruple after terror attacks as mood turns nasty. Now, this again wasn't in a major city. This is in quite a rural, remote area where these people, these gun club members, quadrupling their membership. Again, it's difficult to get access to a firearm in France. You've got to be a member of a gun club. You've got to jump through 20 different flaming hoops. But more and more people are doing it. This was a city councillor in southern France who warned that some French citizens are gearing up for civil war. Again, his words, not mine. As memberships of gun clubs explode in the aftermath of 3 massive terror attacks that have rocked the country. In an article entitled, "What Next? Could France be Facing a Civil War?" author Jonathan Miller, who's an elected council member in the village of Caux, asserts that the Nice truck attack has, quote, shaken France to the brink of a terrifying escalation. He says that France, quote, may be on the edge of something resembling a civil war, and that membership in his local gun club has, quote, quadrupled from 200 to 800 members in the last few months alone. They asked one of the local residents, one of the gun club members, why this was happening. He said, quote, they're getting ready for war. This is France. This is not even Germany, where you would probably expect a bigger reaction. But again, the government is out there saying, and the head of the French police is out there saying, well, you know, this is just a right-wing backlash trying to shift the blame onto the right wing. Not that this is a problem with inviting in over 1 million people into Germany, a situation in France where you've already got a large Muslim population. They had mass riots in 2005. Like Sweden, like other European countries, they have no-go Muslim ghettos where you get physically chased out. Same in Belgium, Brussels, Molenbeek, where we were chased out, myself, Joe Biggs and Michael Zimmerman. This is the situation in France. This is what they've created. And now you have ISIS in their own manifesto saying, yes, we're going to exploit this refugee program to create more of these Muslim ghettos, which are all celebrated by the left. They want to create more of them. Of course, when you actually look where the leftist politicians live in every European country, it's always in the whitest area possible. They're big cheerleaders for these Muslim ghettos, these immigrant ghettos. They won't live anywhere near them because they're complete hypocrites who are completely shielded from the consequences of their own policies. So we had that situation again. Here's a quote from one of the local residents there in this area of Germany that suffered this axe attack. Quote, I assumed right away that it would be an asylum seeker before we knew, said Michel Ouabor. Quote, anyone is being allowed in here and we're practically being overrun. We have no control over who's in Germany. So again, you're starting to see this backlash build. We saw it the other day in Nice with Manuel Valls, the French prime minister, who said that French people just need to learn to live with terrorism, need to learn to live with the mangled bodies of dead children